Hi there, and welcome to a quick look at what we have for the transformation workshop here, the body transformation. And you can see this is the transformed model. And if we take a look at the setting, the wireframe, you can see that it is a fairly high resolution model. We have some good number of poly count, right? And let's go ahead and take a look at the rig structure. Let me bring in those the proportional controls and the actual body rig and the facial rig. So you can see that the rig is fully featured. It has the fully featured body and a fully featured facial accent coding system based facial rigging system here going on. And the thing with this rig is basically it's a transformation rig, so it transforms from one form to another. And it's not just basically a linear transformation from one form to another. You can see that this is a human model, same scale as the transformed model here. What we will need to do is when we are transforming, we may want to just go ahead and increase the scale of the character depending on the amount of transformation needed. All right, and that's something that we will leave it up to the animators. Now, speaking of the transformation, I mentioned that it's not a linear transformation from one form to another. So basically there are these proportional controls that allows us to change the actual position of the anatomy of the character. So we're basically changing the proportion here if needed. Okay. So when doing this cool transformation, we may want to go ahead and decrease the scale of the bone. In some cases, we may even want to break the joints. All those kinds of things can be done, and this is all done by the animators, who can go ahead and just go ahead and articulate these proportional controls to change the overall look and feel of the character. So when this character is transforming from a human to a beast, the transformed version there, so maybe we will have some change in the actual musculature, or maybe the anatomy and the proportion of the character. So something that is already built inside of this rig, right? So on top of that, we have these controls, the body rig controls that allows us to articulate the body just like any other bipedal rig. So you can see those things happening here, right? So we have these controls here. As I mentioned, the rig is fully featured. It has a built-in facial system. We have some controls here to drive the facial rig, right? So we have these controls for the eyes as well. And once again, all of these stuff here you can go ahead and change, right? So if we need to make some changes on the face, we can do that just by moving these controls around, right? So that allows us to give us a freedom where the animators, when they're transforming, they can go ahead and move along these controls to change the overall look of the character, to give it more dynamics, more realism. All right. So let's take a look at the transformed version. So I'm just going to change it to the transformed model, and you can see the transformed model again has these proportional controls built in that allows you to go ahead and make these changes. You can scale them, you can orient, you can even translate them. This will just follow along with the controls built inside of the rig and give you some really cool effect. So for in case when the character is transforming, we would like to see some change in the overall leg, we can do that. If we want to increase the length of the knee when transforming, that's something that we can do as well. All right, and those are the stuff. So there you have it. All right, and let me just go ahead and articulate these controls and show you. So you can see that the transform model also behaves really nicely, and the deformation are pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and move them around. And you can see how this transformation will follow along. And let me just go ahead and rotate this. There you have it. Let me just go ahead and change the character from this model to a human model, so you can see that it's nicely transformed. Right, so same thing goes with the face. right? And the rig also features many PSTs, so lots of corrective shapes here to give you some really nice feel of musculature. Right, so we can go ahead and put in the muscle system as well to give you additional deformation controls and more realism to the character. So you can see there we have some really nice back movement. There's the scapula movement. Again, this scapula can be manually animated if needed, changes, like when this guy is turning, this thing can be moved to give you the feel of transformation. Right. So also you can see how the shapes are really nicely going along. Right. So let's take a look at the face as well, and you can see this is based on facial accent coding unit, and these are the brow shapes. Right. So again, with these shapes you have these additional controls that allows you to change the overall look and feel and the expression of the character if needed. Right, so there you have it. So let me just go ahead and make him look a little bit menacing. Alright, so with that, so let me just go ahead and change the jaw control. Yeah, this looks really nice. So there you have it, the eye movement as well. And let's go ahead and try to rotate the head. Alright, there you have it. Okay, so let me just go ahead and transform back to the human model now. Before we do that, let's go ahead and exaggerate the muscles. There you have it. So if you need it, we can go ahead and flex these muscles as well for the transformation. We'll have a nice little animation showcasing all these features coming soon. Till then, here we have the transformation going. So there's the human. Let me just go ahead and resize that. Maybe that's the scale of the human. When it's transforming, we want that to be a big brute character. So thank you for watching.